Now, to my guests on the show this morning, a band from Brooklyn, New York. They released their first album, Introduction Presence, in 2020. Their next, A Way Forward, followed in 2021. And their new album is Strange Disciple. They are Nation of Language. Ian and Aidan from the band are with me now. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Chris.
And hello, Aidan.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. It's been a minute. How's life, Ian?
It's been good. It's been really crazy. We've been touring around all over Europe and the UK for a while, and then we'll be in the US, Canada, and Mexico.
Fantastic. This is what it's all about, right? Congratulations, Aidan, on the new album. It's had some fantastic reviews. And you've been here in the UK touring for a while now. How have the live shows been going?
Incredible. I had no idea that we would have this kind of reception for the album so quickly, but every time we play a show in a new city here, we get so much more love for the new songs. For example, like I play Week in Your Light, and every night more and more people give it a woo within like the first 3 seconds. And it really gives you the energy to like keep playing more shows and more shows. You just can't wait to see how people react.
That must be so gratifying. Do you enjoy touring live?
Yes, definitely. It provides so much more positive energy every time we do it because people start coming out in droves, and it's just like a very gratifying experience.
Ian, how well have you got to know the UK?
Better and better each time. We're always, the first time we came, we discovered tea-based services, and now we talk about it all the time. And this time we've gotten to kind of like look around in the Peaks District briefly, which was not even an area I was familiar with before. And so it's like, in addition to getting to new cities, just kind of like seeing the corners of the country that you kind of have to like go out of your way to look for is really exciting.
Every time we go out on the road, it's just as exciting as the last. So I'm really happy to be here again and to be meeting people that I never otherwise would have met. It's funny because we have family in the States that I've seen less than I've seen certain characters who come out to our shows. I look out in the audience and it's like seeing family because I see them like 4 times this year, and I've seen my grandma 1 time this year.
I'm guessing, though, it's harder and harder to see those familiar faces because the venues are getting bigger and bigger. When I first saw you, it was at Yes in Manchester, a great venue, but a relatively small space, the upstairs at Yes. And here you are tonight playing Manchester's New Century Hall, a 1,500 capacity venue.
It is. I mean, it's crazy to me. I loved that show at Yes. But it is always exciting to get into a new space, and particularly when that space is as big as this one.
Yeah. Ian, the new album is Strange Disciple. Where did you make it?
We made it in the home studio of our friend Nick Milheiser, who is in the band Holy Ghost, and he is now also in the live band for LCD Sound System. It's a studio in his home. When one says home studio, one thinks of something that is perhaps like limited to a desk. But he has a real collection of synths and kind of outboard vintage gear that is just like super inspiring to be around. And I understand only a fraction of it, but it's a really cool space. The way we worked lent itself to imperfections and kind of trying to embrace those rather than smoothing everything out and making it all feel very clean. Because I mean, when I first started the band, one of the things that moved me was hearing old synth records that were not so perfect in their recording. And then you go into a modern studio and it's pretty easy to make things feel very perfect. And your brain kind of sometimes wants to do that. So to fight that urge and let things feel a little more kind of live and wild felt really good.
Aidan, is he a control freak?
With regards to his music, in the past, he has definitely been a perfectionist in a way that, sort of got in the way of finishing an album and being happy with it. But I think that is something that we have learned to sort of outgrow, I would say. Like our mantra in the studio was, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And I think in the end, we were all a lot happier with the outcome and with the day-to-day practice of going into the studio, just knowing that it is a live take of a song rather than feeling like you need to smooth out everything and make it feel like the perfect version that you had in your head when you went in.
Yeah. Which I think also extends to the live show where, I used to think that like every mistake was some kind of tragedy, and now having toured a great deal, especially with synthesizers and with me on guitar, mistakes will be rampant. And so it's good to embrace them when you can.
So good to talk to you guys. Always good to catch up. Thanks for being with me on the show this morning. Ian and Aidan from Nation of Language, who play Manchester's New Century Hall tonight. And then tomorrow night, it's the Stylus in Leeds, the Foundry in Sheffield on Friday night, and Newcastle's Boiler Shop on Saturday night. Ian and Aidan, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Chris.